Hey, what's up everyone? In this video today, I want to talk about the rule of three, and I'll tell you what that is here in just 1 second. Alright, so the rule of three is something that I came up with for myself whenever I started shooting a little while ago. I found that, there's so many things that you can work on whenever you go out to the gun club to practice or to shoot a competition. There's so many variables. I mean, you have everything from what choke should I use, how should I be standing, what shells should I be using, how do I get my shoulder on the gun right, how do I keep my cheek on the gun, where should my hold point be, and then the list goes on and on and on. So if you were to work on every single one of those things and really focus on them every time you go out to the gun club, it would be almost impossible to break a great score. So let me kind of clarify what I mean here. Whenever you go out to the club, if you want to be a consistent shooter, meaning you're consistently breaking very high scores in almost every event, I mean, obviously everybody has an off event, but that consistency that you're looking for comes whenever you're getting some things automated. So you can go up to the field and set your stance without having to put much thought into it. Obviously you have to put a little bit, but maybe it's not a focal point of your day. And so that's what I'm talking about. The rule of three is every time I go up to the club to shoot, I'm going to have 3 focal points for that day. Now obviously I have a routine and a process that I go through, set my feet, decide where my hold point is, but maybe that's not my 3 focal points for today. So an example of this would be if I'm going to a competition and each day is different, and the 3 things may change as the day goes on, but I'm going to think about the day before, what are the 3 things that I'm struggling at right now that I feel like if I don't do these well, I'm going to have a bad day if I don't do these things well. If I do these things well, then I'll have a good day. So my 3 most important issues, if you will, and maybe your number is 5, maybe you can keep up with more, maybe your number is 1, maybe you're a little less experienced, and you need to only focus on one thing. Whatever that number is, I recommend that you get it and you focus on that. But for me, whenever I go to a competition, I have to focus on not going too fast. So I don't want to go too fast, speed through my routine. I want to take my time, be nice and smooth, moving to the target, and don't shoot too fast. Number 2, I have to remember not to pick my head up. And this is kind of a twofold one, if you will, is I'm going to tell myself, don't pick your head up. But what I mean by that is don't pick your head up off the gun and be sure to follow through, because those 2 things to me go together. And my 3rd one will usually be to pay attention to where I'm putting my eyes at above the barrel. So for example, if this is my barrel here, I don't want my eyes to be, way up here. I want them to be about right here for me. That's where I personally see the target the best. It varies depending on the person, obviously, but that's for me is a key point to shooting, is seeing that target, and I'm not going to be able to see it if I don't have my eyes set correctly. So those are 3 things a lot of time I'll focus on. And I think especially if you're a new shooter, you can take this principle and apply it, because like I said, there's so many different variables out there of things that you have to think about, things that you have to focus on, because you just haven't done it enough yet for everything to be on fully automatic. So if you can go up there and have a process and say, okay, I'm going to set my stance up, and then figure out what my whole point is going to be, and I have 3 things that I'm going to focus on today. I'm going to make sure I stay in the gun. I'm going to make sure that I go forward to the target instead of going on my back foot. Things like that, things that you can think about while you're shooting in between the shots and focus on during the execution of the shot. That'll help you in your consistency overall, because you're going to minimize your mistakes. When you do that, you're going to break more targets. So thank you guys so much for watching today. If this video helped you, give us a thumbs up on it. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching.